Great. So my name is Jack Randall, and our company is Illume, where we say never train alone. The objective of our company is to empower athletes to pursue their passions uninhibited by providing a portable SOS device that can alert contacts at the push of a button. The problem, as we see it, is that endurance athletes, be it runners, cyclists, hikers, skiers, often venture far from home with no form of communication. We've conducted a national market research study in which we surveyed roughly 250 individuals. We showed that 95% of endurance athletes train alone at least part of the time. And of those, only 33% train with a phone or LTE-enabled smartwatch, leaving 67% vulnerable in emergency situations. This actually happened to me roughly 5 years ago when I was training near UD with one of my training partners. In the middle of conversation, he fell to the ground and began to have a seizure. Neither of us had our phones with us. Therefore, we had no way to contact loved ones or emergency services. Thankfully, there was bystanders passing by that were able to help us out. But I began to think, what would I do in a situation like this if no one was around to help? So looking at the market, what we're really trying to do is target endurance athletes to start. And this is consistent of 5 main customer segments. We're focusing currently on distance runners, cyclists, hikers, skiers, and climbers. And our goal within 12 years of product launch, which is hopefully going to be late 2021, is to capture 3% of those target markets for a total addressable market of roughly 4 million users. You're probably thinking there are existing solutions on the market that could solve this problem. However, all of them lack features that we feel are important to the endurance athlete, which is why we're targeting that market specifically. Illume will be wearable. It will allow you to predefine emergency contacts. It will allow you to specify an emergency level. It has cellular and/or satellite connectivity. That means you don't need your phone with you in order to reach your loved ones. It will allow for GPS tracking. It has a monthly service cost below $10. We'll be the only ones on the market with a monthly service cost under $10. And it has a upfront device cost of under $100. We'll also be the only device cost under $100 on the market. So touching back a little bit on our market research, as I said, we conducted a national market research survey in which we received 244 responses from endurance athletes across various sports. At the outcome of those, we began to conduct more targeted focus groups with the individuals who completed the survey, really to validate the emotional drive behind the solution and interest within the community. As a result of those focus groups, we really had 5 key findings. Number 1, there's a strong desire for this product, even among those that currently bring their phone with them while they train. Number 2, athletes will modify the typical training in order to avoid situations in which they feel unsafe. Number 3, varying types of athletes are interested. We surveyed runners, cyclists, hikers, climbers, and even skiers. Number 4, consumers are willing to pay a small monthly fee for network connectivity in order to have that reassurance with them while they train. And number 5, overall, safety is a significant concern, and a device such as this would provide peace of mind to users and to their loved ones. As a result of that, we came up with 4 main design goals. Number 1, the device has to be low cost with an affordable network subscription. Number 2, we need to allow the user to identify a specific emergency level, which will text or send a push notification to emergency contacts. Number 3, the device needs to be small, wearable, and durable for outdoor use. And number 4, we need to provide an app which allows the emergency contacts to track location even when an emergency notification has not been sent. Here's just a brief overview of our design iteration. You can see in the top left corner where we started roughly a year ago, and our final form is in the bottom right. The design is consistent of a single button, which has an LED status indicator that allows the user to gain feedback as they initiate an emergency sequence. So meet Illume, a portable SOS device designed specifically for endurance athletes. I'd like to focus on the makeup of Illume and really some of the key design attributes that we targeted in coming up with this product. First off, the button, which is a hybrid membrane switch. There's only a single button on the device. This button is used for all of the device user interaction. So this is how the user turns on the device. It's also how the user initiates an emergency sequence. There's an LED ring that goes around the outside of the button, which provides user feedback in the event that they're requesting emergency assistance. There's also a plastic housing, which has a soft touch finish, which is durable for everyday use. There's a rubber gasket, which provides a waterproof seal. And we've also included a copper coil for inductive charging, such that there's no exposed ports on this device as we
at 9 o'clock. County officials say local.
Sorry, as we feel that it's important to have no exposed ports for things like waterproofness, as this device will be used in a variety of situations. Couple of Illume's key features. As I've mentioned, it provides security and confidence within a small, unobtrusive, and affordable design. It allows the user to alert predefined emergency contacts. And what I mean by that is when the device is purchased, you can preset who you want to alert when you submit an emergency request. There are 3 emergency levels that the user can select from. There's the check-in, emergency level 1, and emergency level 2. Each of these send a different message to the emergency contact, which signify the level of emergency and the level of help needed. A check-in, really no emergency has transpired. You might just be wanting to let your loved one know that training is taking longer than expected, but you're fine. Emergency level 1 might be a twisted ankle, but you don't really need emergency services help. And emergency level 2 is a serious emergency where you're requesting the help of emergency services. The device also allows the emergency contacts to track an athlete throughout the duration of training through the app. And we've also incorporated fall detection, which will send an automatic SOS signal in the event of a fall and the user's not able to send an emergency sequence by themselves. Here's a brief animation that shows how the device works. The device is powered on by a 3-second press and hold of the button. From there, the LED lights will signify that the device is searching for LTE and GPS connectivity. Once acquired, the LED will go solid blue. This shows the request for a level 1 emergency. So the user will tap the button twice in order to request level 1 help. And you'll see on the left, once the message is sent, that the emergency contact will receive both a push notification and a text message. And the emergency contact is then able to verify the location of the user and respond to the request for help. Here's a brief overview of our SOS device companion app. The app is really used by the purchaser of the device to set up the device, and then by the emergency contacts to monitor the status of the wearer throughout the duration of activity. So getting into the business a little bit, our business model really consists of 2 main revenue sources. There's the upfront sale of the device, and then we have the recurring service fee, which is charged on either a monthly or annual basis, depending on the user's preferences. Looking at device COGS, our total costs of goods for the device itself come in at roughly $38.26. This includes the device, the charger, and miscellaneous items such as the packaging, labor to assemble each unit, etc. We then also purchase the service from a third-party service subscriber called TruePhone at an annual cost of $7. From there, we sell the device for $74.95, and we charge $50 on an annual basis to the users for that service. This provides a margin of roughly 40% on the device sales and a margin of roughly 83% on the recurring service fees going forward. It's important to note that the money is really made on our service subscriptions. The device is inconsequential. Just to provide a high overview of our team, as I said, I'm Jack Randall, co-founder, CEO. I've got a background in mechanical engineering. Our chief technology officer is Philip Horn. He's got a background in electrical engineering and computer science. Bryce McGuire, another co-founder, and he's our chief design officer. He's got a background in industrial design. And then my wife, Anna Randall, has a background in marketing and brand strategy and is really helping us as we bring this product to market. Our ask from you is really for three main things. Business mentorship. This is our first venture. All of the full team, this is our first entrepreneurial venture. So we're learning as we go. Something that we've come across recently and we're working to resolve is guidance on IP strategy. So things like fall detection, there's a lot of IP out there, how to maneuver that space. And then finally, as we bring this product into a prototype phase, a beta prototype phase, we're going to be looking for early product testers to really provide feedback on the device and its functionality so that we can make design tweaks prior to full launch. Thank you.